It all started with a deafening screech of metal and fire slicing through the calm sky. A commercial plane was falling. Inside, Captain James Walker's hands gripped the controls as the aircraft nosedived toward the Earth. No warning, no second chance, just chaos. It wasn't supposed to end like this. Not for a pilot who had flown through storms, saved lives, and carried thousands safely across continents. But that day, fate cracked open the sky and threw him into a nightmare. As the aircraft tore through an open field and burst into flames, James stayed conscious just long enough to see rescue teams break through the smoke. Then darkness. The real crash came later, inside his mind, his spirit, and his body. And the only thing that could pull him from that wreckage wasn't medicine. It was the small hands of someone who never gave up on him, his daughter. James had always been a man of steel in the cockpit, cool and calculating, the kind of pilot people trusted with their lives. At home, he was quiet but present, always kissing his daughter Lily goodnight before leaving for the next flight. But the man who woke up in the hospital after the crash, didn't he know who he was anymore? His legs were paralyzed, his ribs fractured, but the deepest wounds were invisible. Every time he opened his eyes and saw the sterile white walls around him, he wanted to close them forever. The man who once soared through clouds now couldn't even lift his own body off a bed. And as the hospital days blurred into weeks, James stopped talking, stopped eating, stopped believing, until one soft voice whispered in his ear, "Daddy, I'm here." Lily was only 11, but from the moment she saw her father in that bed, wrapped in wires and silence, she knew her job was bigger than school or chores. She showed up every day, sitting by his side, bringing drawings and stories, and a stubborn kind of hope. She told him jokes, even when he didn't laugh. She read him bedtime stories like he used to read to her. A tear. James started watching her instead of the ceiling. For the first time in weeks, he asked for something. "Can you play that song again?" That was the moment everyone realized he was still in there, and Lily had found the way in. There's something extraordinary about the healing power of human touch. Scientists say it calms the nervous system, lowers stress hormones, and can even ease physical pain. But no study could capture what Lily's presence did to her father's soul. Every morning, she helped him stretch. Every night, she wiped his forehead and kissed his hand. Her touch said, "You're not alone." And somehow, that was stronger than any drug. When panic attacks stole his breath in the middle of the night, she'd place her hand gently over his chest and whisper, "Breathe with me, Daddy." And he did. One breath, then another, then more, because love, when given with patience and faith, becomes medicine. And Lily had enough love to rebuild a man from rubble. The doctors were stunned. James, who once couldn't speak, now asked for therapy sessions. He practiced gripping a pencil. He asked for sunlight. He tried the rehab simulator, crashing again and again, but laughing this time. Not because he was healed, but because he was trying. Because Lily clapped every time he failed and said, "You're still flying, Dad, just differently." The man who thought he lost his purpose now found purpose in healing, not to return to the skies, but to walk again, for her, with her. And the miracle wasn't just between father and daughter. Their bond began pulling the whole family back together. James's wife started smiling again. Neighbors dropped by. A community that had once only seen tragedy now saw triumph. the hospital staff began taking pictures of James's progress. One photo went viral. A former pilot taking 5 shaky steps down a hallway, his daughter holding his arm, both of them crying. It wasn't just recovery, it was resurrection. And for thousands online, it became proof that even after the worst day of your life, the next day still matters, especially if someone believes in you. 8 months later, James did something that brought everyone to tears. He walked Lily to school, not perfectly, not easily, but he did it, step by trembling step. And when they reached the front gate, he knelt down not to rest, but to tie her shoelace like he used to. And Lily whispered, "You never stopped being my hero." That moment, caught on camera by another parent, became more than a viral clip. It became a symbol of hope, of resilience, of a love so powerful it lifted a man from ashes. People from around the world sent letters sharing how they found courage through his story. But James always responded the same way. "The real hero is my daughter. She saved my life." So what do we take from this story? Maybe it's that healing doesn't come in one big moment, but in thousands of small ones. Maybe it's that strength doesn't always look like muscles or medals, but like a little girl holding her father's hand. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder for all of us to never underestimate the power of love in the face of devastation. In the end, it wasn't the crash that defined James's life. It was what came after. The quiet miracle of a daughter's healing touch, and the unbreakable truth that no matter how far we fall, the people who love us will always help us rise.